All around us, our world is filled with problems that seem nearly completely unsolvable. We are unable to find any seemingly rational explanation for these complex mysteries that lead even the most trained research scientists scratching their heads in confusion. A lot of these mysteries take on the very simple form of a question, but can very easily lead to a near infinite number of rabbit holes to explore before a simple answer can be posited. Today, we will be tackling these incredible mysteries by looking at a few of the most surprising and mind-boggling questions of the modern era. Here are 6 mysteries that the world's leading scientists still can't seem to explain, and most likely won't be able to for some years to come. Where did the octopus come from? Researchers have found that the octopus contains a rather strange ability when put in comparison against all other life on Earth. In fact, the octopus may not even be a part of all other life on the Earth. Researchers first realized that there might be an error with the evolutionary timeline of the animal kingdom on our small blue planet, given the sudden variation and explosion of life during the Cambrian period, referred to by researchers as the Cambrian explosion. Interestingly enough, this has caused a team of 33 authors to have published an extensively written, studied and peer-reviewed publication that stated that they believed that it was made fairly obvious that the octopus had developed strange new abilities that its ancestors would not have possessed in the short span of time it would have taken to naturally evolve. These abilities were the sudden appearances of complex nervous systems, camera-like eyes, and a capacity for camouflage that all seem to have evolved rather suddenly and without precedent. This is not nearly the full extent of this strangeness, as recent studies have confirmed that the octopus has the ability to rewrite its own genetic code on the fly and purposefully manipulate its own genetics to accomplish quicker forms of adaptations and developments, an ability not seen in all other life. This forced researchers to think outside the box when it came to plausible solutions for this inconsistency with the ancestral family tree, and has led to the rather mysterious assumption that it is highly plausible that the octopus cannot be linked to all other life due to the fact that it comes from extraterrestrial means. If it did not come from here, then it must have come from out there. Out there meaning deep space. Do cows have an internal compass? Though it might not appear to be a rather important question, it is the strangeness relative to recent findings that make researchers ponder over the question of whether the domesticated cow is as simple-minded as was originally assumed. For some odd reason that is still completely unknown, cows of all kinds perform a weird and almost synchronized act with the electromagnetic field surrounding the Earth. When a cow of any age begins to eat and start grazing from the cud, not only does its entire herd begin to align themselves in the same general direction, but they all simultaneously begin to align themselves from north to south, and will even turn their heads in the directions of these natural alignments. What is made all the more strange is that regardless of where the cows are in the world, they will still always align themselves naturally north to south, and will somehow know the exact directions of true north and true south. This could very well mean that cows have some form of internal compass, but the mechanisms behind such a feat are still unknown. It is questioned whether or not there could be another cause for this behaviour due to the rising and falling of the sun, and that perhaps cows are merely trying to prevent the glare from striking their eyes. But this does not appear to be the case, given that a herd will follow this behaviour even in the pitch black darkness of night. Where is all the life? It might sound like an odd question to ask, given the fact that our little blue planet seems to be teeming with an absurd amount of life and variations of it. But that does not seem to be also the case anywhere else in the universe. In fact, it is so much not the case that it is mathematically implausible. For comparison, the Milky Way galaxy is filled with roughly 400 billion stars. 20 billion of these 400 billion are suspected to be sun-like stars. Understanding the new advancements made by the Kepler Space Telescope, we know that roughly 1/5 of those sun-like stars have at least an Earth-sized planet in a habitable zone, which can vary greatly as the recent discovery of the TRAPPIST system that held 7 Earth-like planets in habitable zones seemed pretty common. If even so little as 0.1% of those planets had life on them or some variation of life, then there would be roughly 1 million planets with life in just the Milky Way galaxy. But there isn't. Even taking time into consideration only seems to make the math more implausible. The chances for life are pretty great. The Milky Way itself is about 13 billion years old. The first habitable planets in the Milky Way would have come into existence about 2 billion years after the universe was formed. This leaves about 11 billion year period since our formation for other advanced life to have been formed, and since Earth is only 4 billion years old, there has most likely been trillions of likely chances and scenarios in the Milky Way alone for life on other planets to pop into existence. All we would require to notice other life would be for just one species of these trillions of potential incidences to advance into a spacefaring civilization. Given that research states that our population growth and technological rate would allow human beings to colonize the entire Milky Way galaxy in about 2 million years, if we assume all outcomes the same, we would be able to see an alien civilization by now, considering the time, chances and probability of other life to have formed. The fact that we do not is horrifying. This had led many researchers to believe that maybe the forming of complex life isn't the issue, and that perhaps there is an extinction-level event to filter out the formation of complex life right around the corner, including for ourselves. Where is all the lithium? While we are still on the topic of things in the universe not quite adding up, another question that has puzzled research scientists is the lack of the element lithium in our solar system. Current standard models of cosmology argues that 3 elements would have formed in abundance during the Big Bang: hydrogen, helium, and lithium. For some unknown reason, lithium seems to be incredibly rare in the universe compared to its hydrogen and helium counterparts, and has often left researchers racing to attempt to solve this question. Further experimental observations had found that the current amount of lithium in the atmospheres of the universe's oldest and most abundant stars seemed to have less than 1/3 the amount predicted, and other stars and areas to be completely void of the element entirely. Hypotheses have been put forward as to the potential cause for this element to have gone missing from the face of the universe, but none have been confirmed with reasonable accuracy. Given the importance of lithium in modern technology, the answer to this mystery could really benefit humanity as a whole and would help us to solve and better understand our current cosmological view of our universe and its formations. What is dark matter? Although it does appear that the majority of these questions will be focused around the fabric of our universe, nothing seems to be more mysterious and unexplained than the very nature of dark matter. What is it? Quite frankly, we have no idea. Not a single person has a single idea what it is, in fact. But it makes up over 80% of the mass of the universe and can't, for some reason, be directly observed by any means available. Though it can't be observed, by understanding the movement of stars, it was made obvious to researchers that there was a large amount of mass not accounted for. This mass would need to make up roughly 80% if it was to be able to hold the elements of the universe together, which is how scientists became aware of dark matter and its implications relative to the very nature of our universe. Understanding what it is, why it can't be detected, and all of its strange properties could be the key to understanding big key questions about the nature of our universe and existence in general. Until then, we will just have to sit and wonder what it is and why we can't exactly measure it in any way. What was before the Big Bang? Many people rush to assume that the cosmological theory of the Big Bang is the end-all answer as to the case of the formation of our universe, and though that might be the case for our universe, researchers and experts are still wondering what caused the Big Bang in the first place. Some theories directly or indirectly clash against others. from the concept of our universe being inside of a black hole, while others believe that perhaps the Big Bang is met with a big crunch in an unending cyclical pattern. It very obviously appears to be a question with no satisfying or realistic answer. Could it be that the answer is simply unknowable, or that perhaps, in some philosophical way, we are not yet ready to understand? Whatever the answer might be, it would send lasting impacts in our perspective of creation and whatever is responsible for said creation. But what do you think of these mysteries? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below and help us grow this community and work to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.